So I wanted to ask you, I guess, starting with kind of crafting the story for Insidious Chapter 3. You do 2 films already, kind of based around the Lambert family. How, I guess, easy was it to realize that it was time to move on from them?
I think it was a pretty easy decision not to go on with the Lamberts, just because they've been through so much already. You know, it may have started straying into ridiculous territory if it had been like, they're haunted again. Like, I feel like they'd taken a real beating, especially in the second film. So I actually liked the idea of wiping the slate clean and starting with a new family. I find that one of the strengths of haunted house films is, you know, during that first act when the characters don't quite know what's going on. And, you know, this film involves a lot of different elements. It goes beyond the haunted house film into, like, possession and things like that. And so I just wanted to be dealing with a bunch of characters who had no idea what was happening to them. You know, at this stage, you know, the Lamberts are like experts on the occult. The character that I do have, Elise, from the first 2 films, she's really our expert that guides us through. But our family is just like the Lambert family was in the first film. They have no idea what is happening around them.
How, in a third film, do you try to keep it fresh, try to keep the scares new, while also being consistent with what we've seen through the 2? Because, I mean, obviously, for a third film, you can't just blow things out of the water and be like, well, how come we didn't see that the first 2 times?
I'm just going to make them spies.
Yeah,
exactly. It's an interesting question. I wish I knew the answer to that while I was writing. It was really tough because the tightrope you're walking is that you need to give the fans of the franchise what they want from the films without giving them what they expect. You don't want to become predictable, which is a weird dichotomy, to give people what they want without giving them what they expect or predict. So what I tried to do is come up with whole new situations that we hadn't seen before. I didn't want any of the scares or the scary situations in the film to resemble anything in the other films. I didn't want to call back or bring back the baby monitor, any of the iconography. I just got rid of that up front, and I tried to come up with my own iconography, tripping over that word. For instance, Footprints is a big piece of iconography from this movie. It's like the baby monitor of this film. And so hopefully I succeeded. I think people love to be scared in general. You know, I think people go and see horror movies for the same reason they get on a roller coaster. You know, I hate roller coasters myself, but many people pay good money to do that, and it seems insane to me that someone would do that. But I think a horror movie is the same thing. It's simulated terror. You know, you're watching a movie about someone being stalked through a dark alley. You're not actually being stalked through a dark alley, which is a very different experience. And you know, most of the world believes in a god. There is a lot of, you know, religion in the world, different religions. I think people really are interested specifically with demons and things like that in this dark underbelly. You know, if you believe in a heaven or an afterlife, often there's a hell to go with it, in many different religions. And I think that people are really interested in exploring that, you know, in seeing depictions of that world, of those demons that maybe they've heard about growing up, going to church or something. So, you know, maybe that's the reason that demonic films in particular and possession films are so popular, is it's the opposite of this, you know, the good teachings of whatever religion they're into.